Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so I look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Hey guys, we are back for career mode and it's round number 2 for the Chinese Grand Prix, and a very good first race in Australia. If you did miss it, then I do urge you to go check it out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen. But we are back for China career mode with a little bit of a facelift, looking a little bit better hopefully for you guys, and just putting a little bit extra effort into the series as a whole. But we go into China with a little bit of momentum after the first race, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a very good race for us, and getting season 7 off to the best possible start, and we go into this race hoping we can try and get some more points on the board, and trying to also establish Williams and constantly improve them as a car. But practice program wise, it wasn't looking promising. I've got to be honest with you. In the dry conditions, the car felt absolutely horrible. This is one of the reasons why I do still want to leave Williams if I can in the halfway point of the season, because I just could not get this car in the rhythm around here. It's just a car that doesn't matter how many upgrades you put on it, its DNA inbuilt in the game for this particular track is just horrible. It does not work, and we really struggled in practice, but we got through in the end, and we're going to jump into Saturday qualifying, which is also going to be in the dry conditions. Now, in the race tomorrow, we do have rain expected, so bear that in mind when it comes to tyre choice, hence why I'm running the softs in Q1 and I'll be running the super softs in Q2. So we've got rain tomorrow, so the setup is more tailored towards the wet, so I'm running very high aerodynamics on my car, so I'm going to be quite down on straight line speed. Hopefully I can pull something back for the corners, but in Q1 you can see there we get P12 just behind Felipe Massa on a slower tyre, and we get through comfortably into Q2. Now, I knew Q2 wouldn't be super easy because I had to get a good lap together, because I felt like I didn't have much more pace in the car. That Q1 lap on softs actually felt really, really good, so I knew my Q2 lap had to be perfect and I couldn't make any mistakes. So with that in mind, so far we're looking okay for a good attempt in the second part of qualifying, like I mentioned on the super softs. And coming up to the line, we are going to go P7. Now the question is that lap going to be enough to get us through into the final part of qualifying? The answer is yes, just about in P9, just in front of Massa this time. So we switch positions and we bring up the top 10. So good news for us, we go through the Q3. But now, speaking of Q3, your first attempt is 8th place, which is okay, but my second attempt was better, so we're going to run with this lap on board now for an entire lap of the Chinese Grand Prix circuit. So here we go then, into turn 1. You want to open up the corner as much as you can on entry, and then really throw the car across, use the gears to really steer the nose into the corner. You want to be hitting 3rd gear by the time you pick up the apex right about here. A short little screw on the throttle into turn 2, or turn 3, which is officially called, on the power through the turn 3 exit, using all the track available to you, through the kink of turn 5, and then you're braking hard at the 100 meter board for the turn 5 hairpin. Very tricky corner, missed my apex ever so slightly, but we are up on the delta time. Good traction out there, which is absolutely critical as we now go into turn 6 and 7, the fastest corners on the track and the 2 best corners on the track, especially this one, absolutely flat out, thrown into the next right-hander. Try and keep it nice and tight, so that way it opens up your next left-hander, which opens up to yet another left-hander where the traction through here is impossible, and it's so important to get it perfect. So I'll do a pretty okay job. A little bit wider than I would have liked on the exit, but still not too shabby. A little bit deep into that left-hander there, but we managed to save it and get a nice run onto the right-hand swooping banking as we now go onto the massive back straight. I believe the longest straight in Formula 1, because obviously Baku actually has a chicane on it, but so in terms of overall straight, this is the longest one on the calendar, unless maybe Mexico beats it, but I'm not really sure. Either way, 100 meter board, brake hard, 3rd gear, and look for the apex. I'm actually attacking the apex areas. I broke a little bit too late, so I had to use some 2nd gear action and take an early apex to make sure I got the nose down. But now into the final corner, 5th gear action, possibly 4th. Use all the track available to you, open up the DRS, and up to the line we go. And that lap is going to be good enough for, I believe, P8 on the grid for tomorrow's race. So overall, not bad. A pretty good lap. I was very, very happy with it. Very minimal mistakes I could have corrected, but all in all, I reckon there's probably about a little bit on the table. I reckon maybe a 10th or something. We tried our best. We know we were within a second, and Vettel ultimately took pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix, but we're competitive and we look okay. But hopefully in the wet we can be a little bit quicker than in the dry conditions, because we do have a wet setup on the car. So anyway, that was the story of qualifying, and we're now going to move into Sunday for the race for the Chinese Grand Prix. Right, here we are then for race day at China, and P8 on the grid after a pretty okay qualifying. The best we could do in the circumstances, given the fact we are running some pretty high aero, probably a little bit too high for the dry conditions, and we had to sacrifice a bit to try and be a little bit more competitive in the wet. But still, P8, And realistically, I don't think we've got great pace around here anyway. Not like Australia. This definitely feels like we're a bit on the back foot and not as competitive. So I'm hoping in the wet conditions we can make something happen. Recently, towards the end of last season, we was getting pretty damn good in the wet conditions with this Williams car, whereas right at the start of the season we really struggled. So I'm hoping we can actually have some good pace here and try and give these guys around us a race. Realistically, I want to try and finish in the top 5 just to try and keep a nice level of consistency going. But we'll see how that one pans out. Either way, in terms of the race strategy for today, you can see it's going to go from full wet to completely dry right at the end of the race. So it's going to be very, very interesting, this one. And I think the dry tyres might come into the equation right at the end. And obviously, because of the rain situation, we are going to run pretty limited fuel. Bang on target, 28 laps, no more or no less. So hopefully we'll save a little bit in the wet conditions, which is what I normally do anyway. But other than that, we're going to jump straight into it now for round number 2 for the Chinese Grand Prix. And let's see if we can try and improve on this 8th place. Okay then, we're going to get ready to the 5 red lights. Lights out in Shanghai, and it's a pretty okay start for the line. Not spectacular, but it's okay. And we're going to just about hold on to our position. We've got Massa on our outside who's gone for the move. I'm going to go up the inside of turn 1 here. If we keep it tight, then there's an opportunity to make some overtakes here as we get up the inside of Max Verstappen. Very close, but we're going to stick our nose in and make it work quite nicely. And we've got ourselves up into P6. So far looking pretty damn good. Back end steps at me a little bit there, and just having to get used to the conditions. But we're up in the 6th place. It's a good start to the race as we now look at Lewis Hamilton in front of us here being overtaken by Esteban Ocon. So far though, no way through, and we're going to set off a P6. I get a nice bit of traction out of turn 5, I think that is, but not really close enough to make an attack on Lewis. But right now we're looking good. Let's see the long run though, if our pace is good enough. I think realistically, strategy-wise, based off of when the intermediate tyres are going to arrive and the rain's going to ease off, we have to look at the possibility of not stopping and trying to get these tyres to the intermediate period. That would give us a massive opportunity and a break in the weather to try and maybe really get higher up the field. And also, that also depend on the pace of the front runners, which Perez is kind of dictating that pace at the moment. So let's see how it all pans out, but so far it's looking pretty damn good. So let's see if we can try and make some moves here, and fingers crossed that pace is good enough. Okay, on to lap 2 into turn 1. This might be an opportunity for us because I tend to be quite good through turn 1. We just bumped Hamilton a little bit there, a little bit of contact. We are going to look for the outside. Do we have the grip? Do we have the aero? We're going to look for it, get on the inside of turn 2. A little bit of a nudge wheel to wheel, but we are going to get on the inside of Hamilton here, squirt the throttle on, and we're up into P5. So we managed to get past the Mercedes, and 5th place now. This is very, very good for us as I get a bit of a screen freeze there. That just upsets me under braking, and almost hit the back of Esteban Ocon there. Luckily, no damage has occurred, and we've managed to survive. So right now, P5, and we're looking pretty racy in these conditions here. We might actually get past Ocon very soon. Okay, we're a little bit down on straight line speed. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. He's going to put me under pressure. He's going to commit to the inside, into the hairpin. Risky stuff from Lewis, but he's going to go for on the brakes, and we're going to go very deep to try and match him. Right on the outside, is there any space here? Yes, there is. Hamilton trying to re-overtake me here straight away, but we're just going to get the traction, and we're going to stay ahead of him. And the Ferrari's also battling it out there just in front, so those guys are having a bit of a scrap. Perez at the far side of the Grand Prix, so he set the pace up front. We're not too far behind, and I definitely think I can match that lap if I can get some clean air. But right now, the Ferrari's going side by side into turn 1, so this is very good for us. And I've got to say, I wanted a top 5, but our pace in the wet conditions, I might have to readjust my objective as we get a yellow flag in turn 1 here momentarily. But yeah, I might have to readjust my objective. Maybe you've got to try and go for that podium because we're looking very quick here. And also on the radio, weather should improve in 10 minutes time. So this is looking very promising so far. Once again, I think I'm going to come under pressure from Lewis Hamilton here. He's very quick on the straight. Going to go defensive a little bit, not too much because he's just so fast in a straight line. This time though, he brakes a lot later. I'll brake a little bit earlier, but I'm still going to go around the outside of the hairpin. This is getting very close on track. We've got the Ferrari still battling it out. Ocon just in front. We managed to get the traction again and beat Lewis there on overall rear end grip out of the hairpin, but this is far from over. This is a very intense battle here as we go on to lap number 4. Personal best. This race feels very lively. Perez walking away out the front. Let's see if I can try and set up Ocon for a move here. We're all over the back of him. In the rain, the dirt here isn't as bad, so that might allow us to get a little bit closer, but Ocon is placing his car very nicely on the track, and I just can't seem to get the space. I'm going to have a look there, but the AI, literally, it just happens to be there so good under braking into that brake zone. But right now, I feel very good. The issue here I'm having when it comes to the overtaking, I get very poor traction through the banking, so I don't actually set myself up that well for an opportunity to overtake on the back straight. As I tap Ocon there, you see what I mean? The way my car feels, for some reason I just can't find the traction and the exit speed. This time it's not too bad, and we're actually somewhat closer to Ocon, but we've got a yellow flag in front and we've been promoted a position, so Ferrari's pulled over and it is Kimi Räikkönen out of the race. So Räikkönen out of the Chinese Grand Prix. We've got Hamilton behind us, but he can't make the move due to yellow flag restrictions, so we're going to be able to hold on to this and we can maybe try and attack Ocon down the pit straight. We've been tagged a little bit there, I think, by Hamilton, or I've just lost the back end, one or the other. Either way, if we get past Ocon, we'll be in a podium position, which would be absolutely incredible for me to say, and I never thought I'd be saying that, but our pace in the wet conditions is just really, really good. Another personal best, 50.2. Let's see if we could try and get Ocon this lap. I think this could be the one. I'm feeling very confident, especially through here. Turn 1, the grip I've got compared to that AI is absolutely incredible here. We get so close to Ocon, and I want to try and set him up, but I can't seem to get the exits. Alonso out of the race, so might be a possible safety car here. Just trying to get the traction. I'm just struggling to really get the car straightened up and get the rear wheels turning, but we're going to have a look here on the brakes. It's very late into turn 4, a little bit deep on the apex. Ocon's going to switch back underneath me, and he's managed to make the switch back work. I'm going to short shift to 5th on the inside through here. Can we make it work? Yes, we do, and we've got past the Force India and into a podium position. This is very good for us. So now, do we have the pace to chase down Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez? Right now, we are setting this place alight, and I've never had such good pace before in the wet conditions. The Rainmaster is well and truly back. Now that Raikkonen's retired, Vettel has found a bit of pace, and he's starting to catch up to Sergio Perez. Let's see if we can catch him. We've done another personal best that last lap round, just improving to a slightly improved 50.2, but let's see if we can dip into the 49s. Okay, light rain in around 2 minutes, so we need to start thinking about the intermediate tyre. I've already selected it. It's going to be a question of now timing the switch. There we go, into the 1 minute 49s, 49.7. But Vettel is the fastest man at the minute. He's flying around this track. He's pulling away from me, but he's catching Perez. I think my pace is pretty much matching Sergio's. But right now, we're looking very good for a podium. The pace is good for 3rd place. And Ocon is not catching me. He's dropping back. So that is good news for us. Okay, I'm going to make the risky call to come in this lap for intermediates. The rain's died off. It's no longer heavy rain, so I'm going to risk it. The team haven't called me in, but the rain visually is just a lot less. So we're going to go for the roll of the dice and hope for the best. I feel confident we can pull this off. I don't see why this couldn't work. So let's see. We're going to go into the intermediates. At the end of the day, it's still wet conditions, so the tyre is not exactly as slick. So we'll still have some traction on these, but I just felt like the time was right. The track was looking a little bit drier, and the rain had just let off, and the spray was pretty much non-existent. So let's see if we made the right call as we get back onto the racetrack here, and we'll find out what the grip levels are like. And this feels fine to me, so let's get racing. Okay, this is interesting because the grip is pretty much on the knife edge at the moment. The big boys have stayed out for another lap, but I feel like it's pretty much 50-50. That would have been the lap for them to come in, unless I'm completely mistaken with the grip levels, but I feel like it's now intermediates. Okay, we've got a few cars in the pit lane now. I'm going to presume they're coming in for intermediate, so the switches are occurring. Let's see, though, where everybody is in the shuffle. We set a personal best 49.4, so it's definitely intermediates, and yeah, we are going to be in P6. Rejoined behind Vettel and Perez once again, so we didn't really gain any ground on those guys. Admittedly, I probably went a lap too early. Last lap would have been the one to go for, but either way, I'm not complaining. We're still in a position that we were in anyway. Difference is now we've got Hamilton behind us and not Esteban Ocon, so Lewis is going to be, I think, probably chasing me down pretty damn quick here, but I think we can keep him at bay in these conditions. We've got a couple more drivers in the pit lane as we set our fastest lap, 48.3. That's half a second faster than the previous fastest lap from Vettel on the full wet tyres, so it's definitely coming to the intermediates now, and the lap times are going to start tumbling very soon. At the minute, I think Felipe, my teammate, has actually stayed out in the full wet. He's stayed out all this time, and I think he's in the lead of the race, and he's holding up Vettel and Perez for me. So Massa coming in clutch, doing me a massive favour as I clock up a purple first sector. And I think, yeah, it is Massa I can just about sort of see there who's holding these guys up. Ocon's probably going to get past now into the brake zone, but even still, Massa's giving me the chance here to really catch these guys up, and still they can't get past Felipe here, so this is really, really good for us. Yeah, they're 3-1 into the brake zone here, and Massa's on the outside. This isn't ideal for him, but What an absolutely brilliant job my teammates done. Massa coming in clutch and really helping me out. Vettel's overtaken Perez as well, so Vettel getting a double overtake as Massa comes in and releases me into P3. And look how close we are. We was about 6 seconds behind, but now we're in the race here. And another fastest lap, 47.9. Let's see if we can try and keep pace with these two in these intermediate conditions. Oh my, a 46.0. Jesus, Vettel not messing around. He is walking away at the front, and it's going to be hard to match him. We're matching Perez for pace though, as we set a personal best. So second place might be possible, but Sebastian Vettel is in another planet. Perez just starting to really pull away a little bit now and match Vettel's lap times. We did a personal best last lap as well, 47.5, but Perez has just got too much pace for me, and I think I'm going to have to start looking behind me and not in front of me, because as this race dries out, it's going to favour the guys around me. In dry conditions, we're not really set up for that, and our pace in qualifying suggested it, we weren't. So we sort of need to stay wet for as long as possible, but at the same time, if it stays wet for too long, I might have to do another stop for inters, because these are going slowly but surely. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Right, 10 more minutes of rain, that's interesting. I'm doing personal best every single lap. 10 more minutes is going to be interesting. That's about 5 more laps, around lap 22-ish. That's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I can definitely make it work on this tyre. That's going to be very, very close. This race is so tense. I can't put my finger on it why, but it's all up in the air and I love it. 47.3, every single lap just getting faster and faster. Okay, we're going to come into the pit lane now and follow Perez and Vettel in, as you can see here. I could have stayed out, but realistically that would have been suicide, because the track might not dry out. It might be one of them ones where the track just never gets to dry out, and that would really, really piss me off. So as you can see, we've got Vettel there. I'm holding Vettel up, which is good, so he's going to lose a bit of time there in the pit lane. Also Perez having a quick stop as well, 1.9. We're going to get held up quite a bit here, which isn't ideal. We could have left the jack ages ago, but the game has just made us basically lose more time, because we could have easily rejoined right behind Perez. Either way, another set of inters, and now we are going to count down until the dry tyres, which should be scheduled to arrive around lap 25 or 26, I'm going to say. So now we can basically lean on these as much as we like, push these nice and hard, and see if we can maybe make something happen this race. Right, all the cars are in the pit lane, so we're going to re-inherit our original position of P3. Let's see what our pace is like, and let's see if we can make something happen. Personal best, 46.3, fastest final sector. Only 3 tenths off the fastest lap from Vettel's 46.0 from earlier. We're looking very racy and slightly faster than Perez here at the minute, so the chase for second isn't over yet, and Vettel really isn't pulling away at the minute, so this is all very open still. 45.5, Sebastian Vettel picking up the pace. Perez also picking up the pace now, gap up to 1.4. I think this might be it. Okay, the rain has officially stopped. The question is, will there be enough laps left for dry tyres? So let's see how this one pans out. We're starting to catch Perez back up again here, and 1.3 is the gap. I'm just starting to lose a little bit of grip on these, and Perez is starting to walk away from me once again here. I don't think we're going to be able to get to the end on these inters if what I'm feeling through the steering wheel and how the car feels is what it truly is, because I feel like the grip's definitely getting a bit thin now for these tyres, and there's definitely going to be at least maybe 2 solid laps where we are racing on a fully dry track. Perez has officially walked away, 3.5. His pace is ridiculous. He's just found some pace and switched it on. I mean, I've dropped pace a bit, but he's really also found a lot of pace. I just don't have the grip anymore. I'm just understeering at every single corner, so I think we need to set up for 3rd place now. Here we go, through the hairpin, last lap. Sebastian Vettel wins the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm just sort of cruising now in limits just to try and save the engine a bit, save the gearbox. But here we go, through the final corner, and a very, very good Chinese Grand Prix. We come home in P3, podium finish, and I cannot complain. That is better than I expected, and that is 2 races, 2 podiums in Season 7, whereas at this point last year, we still had absolutely 0 points. So a very good result for us, and very, very happy indeed. And it's also a very good sign that going forward this season, the wet conditions are actually no longer nothing to fear, and the wet conditions actually suit our car, which is good news. So very, very encouraging signs, a very, very enjoyable and encouraging race for us as a team, regardless of whether I stay or not past the halfway point of the season, because it's no secret I'm looking for a drive elsewhere. Overall, a very good race. Vettel wins, we come home in 3rd place, Perez is in 2nd, but that is the Chinese Grand Prix. We're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standings. Right, so looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins the Chinese Grand Prix. The only man in the 1 minute 45s. Absolutely incredible pace from the German. And Perez keeps him honest in second place, only 5 seconds behind. We eventually dropped down to 12 seconds behind, finishing in third place on the podium. Very happy with that. Didn't expect it at all going into the race, and a genuinely good surprise for us. Esteban Ocon in P4 ahead of Ricardo, Max Verstappen in P6. Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton only managed in 7th and 8th respectively. Pretty poor race, especially for Lewis Hamilton there. Felipe Massa, my teammate, gets P9 and gets a couple of points, with Nico Hülkenberg rounding out the top 10. But in terms of the drivers' standings, you can see Vettel takes the lead for the first time this season and is 3 points ahead of me going into the next race in Bahrain. And Perez remains in third place. Top 3, exactly the same as how the race finished today, but in a different order. And Massa, further down, as you can see, gets overtaken by Lewis Hamilton there. So a lot of position changes, but in terms of the constructors, you can see we dropped down to third place as Force India overtake us for 2 points. And so far, it's looking pretty good. We've got a nice little gap to Red Bull at the minute, so it's all well and good. But we're now going to move into the laptop, and we're going to purchase another durability upgrade. Okay, so the only upgrade we have left to purchase is the MGUH for the, in terms of level 1 upgrades, it's the only one we have left. So we're going to purchase that now, and that should arrive for the next race in Bahrain. And now at least we have everything on level 1, which is what we want, and we can now start building on level 2. And we're probably going to kick things off with the ICE, and then move over to the turbocharger. But we're slowly getting there, and the car is coming along nicely. But if you guys have enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like on it. Let's try and smash 200 likes for this episode of Career Mode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for plenty more F1 content. And also, do turn on your notifications to not miss a single upload from me. Also, do check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them by chance, and do check them out if you've missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye.